each other with the tail. And we'd hang on a fence post when chicks came by and like just by her tail. Girls would have big fluffy tails and they'd doll them up and perfume on them. Mankind should have tails. Two not giving us wings. Why don't we have wings? What's the deal with not having wings? And with the cars and trucks and etc., we have all this pollution. God totally blew it. But then, you know, it makes, well, and number three, what was number three? Oh, not having the ability to aim our farts. You know what I mean? If you could just aim your fart for like 60 feet, right up somebody's nose, it would be such a more powerful thing than fists and guns. And I think if we just had wings, tails, and the ability to aim our farts, the world would be a perfect place. So God blew it in that department. I don't believe in Jesus Christ. You know what? Actually, I got to tell you just a little bit about myself. As far as my just basic life philosophy goes, just don't put your shit on me. It's the old like military thing. Like, I hate the freaking military too. But you know those "Don't tread on me"? It's like a Navy thing with the snake. "Don't tread on me" posters. Don't, you know, if you love Jesus and you think you're going to heaven and you just love the Bible and you found your answer, good for you, man. You know, like I'm stoked and I'm happy for you. Just don't make me go down your path. An example, the other day I'm walking my dog. An example of, like, that's the basic idea for me of America is that we all can have our own philosophy, our own beliefs, and our own freedom. I think that was the basic idea. And if we didn't put our own crap on each other so often, the place would have worked out. But I'm walking my dog, and it's my roommate's dog, and she'd just taken it for a walk. And so I figured it'd done its thing. And I'm walking along, and it starts, you know, pooping. And I see this guy coming across from my street, and he's one of those dudes, he's got the polo shirt way up high, and white khaki pants, shorts to here, you know, socks pulled up to here with penny loafers, really uptight, red in the face, high blood pressure, balding. Walks up to me while I'm just kicking it, having a cigarette, watching my dog poop. And I was going to pick up the dog poop. I was. I mean, it was part of my plan to pick up the dog poop. But he stops and he looks at me and he goes, you're gonna pick that up, aren't you? And I go, motherfucker, is there kids? How many kids? Any? I don't see any kids. Any kids out there, kids? I go, motherfucker, would you just leave your... Really?
I'm a kid.
Oh, okay. I go, would you just mind your own fucking business, man? He goes, what's with the profanity? I go, motherfucker, shit, kite, walk, spit, god damn it, piss, fucking... And he goes, did you just say kike? Did you just call me a kike? I go, no, dude, it's America. You told me I couldn't be profane, so I said, motherfucker, shit, god, cock, kike. I'm not calling you anything. He goes, he's getting red now. Say kike again. Say kike again. Gets right in my face. And I'm thinking, it's America. This guy lays me out. I can get 20, 25 grand, maybe 30 grand from him. So I go, kike. Right into his face. He goes, sputters. He gets his iPhone out and he starts taking pictures of me. Click, click, click. And he goes, I got you now, man. I got you now. I go, you got me now. What are you going to do? Put that on Facebook? Make a poster out of it? You got a picture of me and a dog taking a shit. What, you know? This is a true story, mind you. Now, he gets so angry. He gets up to me. He grabs me by my shirt collar, red in the face, and he goes, I'm on my way down to the liquor store and then I'm going home. If you don't pick up that dog shit by the time I get back and put it somewhere else, I will fucking kill you. Oh, sorry, young lady. No more stories like this. But, kill you. Threatens me with my life. And then walks off to the liquor store. So I go inside my house and I grab some tissue paper and I run out and I saw the house that he came out of. So I picked up the dog crap and I ran over to his lawn and I put the dog crap on his lawn. Went back inside, and I have never seen the man again. And this is just when I moved in, and I figured, I was going to create one of those neighbor wars that you have in this country. But no, luckily I never saw the man again. He must have just been visiting. But just, don't put your philosophies on me. I was with a girl the other day, and she was a vegan. And I'm down for it, man. You believe that you're helping the planet, not eating meat, etc. I love steak and chicken, and I know that it kills the rainforest, and I know that corporations are poisoning us with beef and all these things, but it's good. So just have your beliefs, and I love you for them, but don't judge me for mine. And I think if we could all maybe somehow do that for each other in every way, shape, or form, we get along better. I was smoking a cigarette, which is awful, and it kills you, and it's cancerous, and it hikes up our taxes and causes healthcare issues, and we all cry and watch each other die of cancer. And I love cigarettes. So, my basic philosophy is fun before safety. I throw it on the ground and I put it out. She says, the same thing with the dog poop. She goes, well, you're going to pick that up, aren't you? No, I'm not. Obviously, I just threw it over there. Livid. I mean, it ruined her whole day. She's fiercely angry. And I go, if it bothers you so bad, pick it up and put it in the trash can. So she did. Picked it up, put it in the trash can. 10 minutes later, I smoked another cigarette. Threw it on the ground again. She goes, now you're just doing this to piss me off, I'm like, no, I'm doing it because that's what I do with my cigarette butts. If it bothers you so much, pick it up and live in your own reality. I'm sounding like such a prick up here, but that's okay because I am one. Movies are so fantastic. I have this just giant passion for movies. They kind of have shaped my whole reality in general. Anytime I don't like reality much, so I always think of it in the form of a movie. When I see people arguing, or when I see pain, or when I see just stuff in life that's just really, really hard, I always picture a camera capturing it. I don't know if that's bad or not, but I watched Tom. I was in such a funky mood yesterday for some reason, and then I watched Tommy Boy. Is that movie just not the best movie? Oh God, that's funny. And that guy died of C and H and H. Maybe you can figure out what I'm talking about. But what a genius he was. And he gave us like those 2 hours of perfection. That movie is so funny. I had like 12 ounces of tears come out of my eyes up there. And I'm old now, so I wear makeup. And I had like caked makeup dripping all the way down both sides of my ears. And I was like dehydrated after watching that movie from laughing yesterday. And there's just this magic about good movies and the way they make you feel about life in general. The way that I just want to, I want to spend the rest of my life, every moment of my life, somehow getting to be involved in that kind of magic. And if it happens once, that's enough. If you can, that feeling you get when you watch a film that just blows your mind in any way, shape, or form, whether it's like funny or tragic, or it just makes you feel connected to humanity in some way, shape, or form, and you walk out of that theater just rocked. I don't know, this happened to me when I watched Juno a while back. It happened to me when I watched Crazy Heart. It happened last night when we watched Galaxy Quest. I don't know if you guys were in here, but that movie just so captures everything that the con circuit and the sci-fi circuit is, and it just, they don't miss anything. the way the creatures walk, and we are so happy to say, oh, it's just so freaking funny. And the 6 degrees of separation in that film, that, you know, the kid that plays Brandon, the geek that saves him in the end. 2 weeks ago, I'm hanging out with that kid and this girl named Haley Taylor that makes this wonderful music. And it's so weird being, you know, so close, living in LA and doing the acting thing and doing you know, being passionate about what I'm passionate about is such a trip, because I remember when that movie came out, we were doing the 7th season of Voyager, and I don't remember exactly who was in makeup, but I think it was Tim and me, maybe Ethan, a couple of the makeup guys. I think Beltran was in there, and we had all seen it separately over the weekend when it came out. And, you know, we took ourselves seriously. We're making a sci-fi television show, you know. But when someone said, hey, have you caught Galaxy Quest, one of the makeup artists? And, like, we all looked at each other in the eye, and it was just like a, yeah, like, perfect! What a fucking perfect, I mean, freaking perfect movie that was. So, I don't know, I've got a couple things coming out in the future maybe I can tell you about. It's been a good year for me. The last 10 years of my life in this business, I was kind of a victim of the old Hollywood cliche of the child actor getting a big ego and a lot of money and partying too hard. In my early 20s, I kind of lost my brain. I took a 3-year break in '05, and I came back to Hollywood in '08 to try to redevelop everything that I'd thrown away. And it's starting to become successful. I have 3 films coming out later this year. One's called Fortress. It's a $6 million World War II film about the crew of the Lucky Lass, which is a B-17 bomber that flew from Africa to Italy in World War II and made 17 successful missions. It was just super awesome to get to be a part of that movie. There's a few other Star Trek actors in the film, and Mike Phillips, who's a first-time director, was one of the head makeup guys. This is what I mean about 6 degrees of separation. It's so odd when you're trying to get into the film business. He was like an underling under Mike Westmore in First Contact, and now he's, you know, directing a kick-ass movie about B-17 bombers.
Is he related to Fred Phillips, who did makeup on the original series?
I don't know. I should ask him. You know, but the cool thing about maybe the Star Trek family too is because he was involved in that and he is where he's at now. He picked a few kids that were in the cast. Me, there were 3 actors in that film that were also in Star Trek. There's Sean McGowan, who played Snow Job in G.I. Joe, and was one of the, I didn't watch Enterprise too much, but he was one of the, like, Earth guards that came up to the ship for a while. Captain Richards, I think his name was, or something. Red-headed gentleman was in that movie. And one of the actors that is responsible in the new Star Trek for crashing the ship in the beginning where Kirk goes down. Can't remember his name because we shot this a year and a half ago. And also I'm in the red-headed kid from American Pies in that movie. You can see that early 2000, it's gone. It's all gone up here. My memory is. Oh, hey, I'm Manu Intiraymi. I was Ichek on Star Trek Voyager. It's nice to be here today. Who else was in that movie? Oh, that's me.
Wow, lightsaber.
Oh, you think that's special? Check this out. Go to college, kids. Go to college. What else do I have coming out this year? I just did a movie called Driving by Braille, a beautiful romantic comedy about a woman that goes crazy and leaves her children in the desert. That is the plot, but it's actually a really cute movie with Stephen Bauer and Tammin Sursok from the Miley Cyrus show, whatever that's called. Help me out. Thank you. Hannah Montana. And Ryan Eggold, the teacher, star of the new 90210. I'm highly doubting you guys are fans of that one. But, and Stephen Bauer, which was super cool to work with. Stephen Bauer has been in 100 million films. You might know him from Scarface. He was Pacino's buddy in Scarface, if you guys know that. It was rad to work with him because he's such a seasoned actor. Driving by Braille is the title. And I'm also getting paid for all the reckless, horrible things I did with my life by doing this film called Expired, where I play a guy that's addicted to literally every narcotic on the planet. And he goes around in his parking enforcement car that he's made up to look like a parking enforcement automobile and wears this fake outfit. And he goes up and writes people tickets. And then people go, oh, you wrote me a ticket. And I go, well, okay, give me $10, I won't write you the ticket. And there's 4 other con men in the movie. Chris Owen from American Pie, that's the other guy also that's in the World War II film. I'm suddenly doing all these movies with Chris Owen. There's no connection. You know when you see movies with actors that have been in other movies and you go, I wonder if they got each other the part kind of deal? If you have that thought, if you happen to check out my movies, for some reason me and Chris Owen are glued together at the hip these last couple of years. Do you know who that is? The Shermanator from American Pie, the red-headed kid, the real ugly red-headed kid. That man's face is it's like Picasso painting. I'm allowed to say that because I'm his friend. But man, he's a weird-looking dude.
Pick up the dog shit.
I don't know. What else can we talk about today? Do we have some stuff from Fortress? Would you guys like to see some clips from Fortress? Are you into it? Did they bring some DVDs over? There's nobody there. Well, we can do shadow puppets.
Oh, that's cool.
Is there somebody? No, and nobody brought any.
They're on top of the speaker.
Wow, that's not them. That's my horrible pizza movie. Oh, I mean my fantastic pizza movie. I did. I produced a movie called Za, a pizza movie. I had this ego, and I thought, that I was an actor for 12 years. I knew what it was to make a movie. So I spent all my money to try to make a movie, and failed miserably. But it's watchable, and I learned so much that I am branching over into the producer writer department these days. In 2012, I'm going to shoot a movie called Honors Kids. That's a supernatural thriller, also kind of a drama. It's like, have you ever seen the movie Kids? Pretty heavy movie. Kids meets like a ghost story, and that's going to be pretty cool. Supposedly, Ethan Phillips has locked himself into playing the principal in that movie. At least I have him verbally. Yeah, and witnesses. Thank you, man, because I will use that. She didn't bring them. If someone wouldn't mind going and telling someone at my table, or if Sarah's there, Sarah, are you here? No. That the Fortress tapes, all my other DVDs that aren't Zaw, if they could get them over here, that would be rad. I wanted to show some clips from them. Did they?
No,
that's
they
right.
brought them.
Okay. Yeah, if anyone has questions, go ahead, because I'm kind of losing what I'm doing up here.
Good.
Yeah. Good. Fantastic, because we just can't stand a word that's coming out of your mouth. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a major Keeper fan and 24, never missed anything. Tell me about your experience on that.
What a righteous, positive dude that guy is. And you know what? When you ask that question to actors and on stage, it's our job to say that. But in this instance, it's true. Kiefer Sutherland is a super cool guy. I worked on that show for 2 days. And what you like when you come onto a show as a guest star, and you're going to work with the star, is you want them to be a professional for you. You want them to be emotionally available and on the other side of the camera and giving you what you give them, because you're there to make them look better and to give everything you can from your character. He was there on the set. When he got off the set, he would talk to me about the scene. He bummed me cigarettes, told me stories about Young Guns, just was very available when he doesn't have to be. And there's not a lot of actors, there's not a lot of stars out there that have that kind of humbleness in them. So yeah, Kiefer was super, super cool. Yeah. And Young Guns and Young Guns too. Kiefer, man, too cool. It was way cool to work with that guy. Any other, yeah, go ahead.
You talked about your love for movies.
Yeah.
This is one of those hypotheticals. If you could reimagine a role in a movie from the past,
Yeah.
what would be the one role that would be the one you just...
I'd like to play Jack's part in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, probably. I think it's going to be a role like that re-sparks my career. The comedy thing that I just did, I play this really spoiled trust fund kid that just walks around in a bathrobe and slippers and thinks he knows everything about the world and hasn't worked a day in his life, but is totally insane. And he's the guy in the romantic comedy that always says to the guy that's falling in love, love doesn't exist, dude, you know what you're talking about. And he's a pretty wild man. His hair is always in a different place. But that type of character, I don't know if you guys have seen Hot Tub Time Machine, but the guy that played the Violator, I think comedy is the direction my career is headed in, and kind of always should have been. I like any comedian, I always wanted to do dramatic work, but like now that I'm getting older and realizing that I'm a goofy looking dude, that I should exploit it. Look at this thing. I mean, that's something to be proud of. Seriously.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, I put a lot into that. That's
Obviously.
look at that.
Like,
I mean, that's ugly. I mean, we could market just that. We could call it Manu Intiraymi Starbase Indy. Belly. Just one more piece of pizza, Manu. Oh, please, feed me, buddy. Thank you, buddy. That'd be the whole movie, yes.
if you were to reinvent your character right now, would it be E-Chub?
E-Chub instead of E-Cheb?
Yeah.
That's how slow it's moving up here. I had to repeat the joke to get the joke. Yeah. And that's the trippy thing about being human too, man. You can go 10 years thinking you've got everything really figured out about one particular issue, and you are solid, and you know that this is what you are, and then completely flip-flop and go, wow, I have been totally off the mark. I think another basic philosophy is if you go too far to the right on anything, or too far to the left on anything, you're wrong. That's just a basic rule, I think. There are no answers. I think if there's anything this is an old actor's studio question that I've always wanted to ask, or maybe it's Oprah. I don't know. There's not a whole lot going on up here. But if there's one thing I think that I pretty much know in my heart and soul and in whatever I am, is that we are infinite. There is no such thing as time. We are going to last forever. The universe has every possibility in it. It all exists. The hard, the soft, the fast, the slow. I think anything we can imagine is somewhere. When they say the universe is infinite, every time I have this thought, it blows me away, but recently I had it again, and I don't have a whole lot of deep thoughts, so when I had it, it blew me away again. Infinite. You know what that means? That's never-ending possibilities. There's a mathematical symbol. It goes like this. And in quantum mechanics, down in a black hole and subatomic particles, you run into that symbol. It's infinite. Everything exists. Do the Christians go to heaven when they die and hang out with Jesus and pet cats? Yes. Do the Satanists get to hang out with the devil and drink beer and have sex with hookers? Yes. Do the atheists that think nothing exists get to just disappear and their soul goes away? Yes. You know what I mean? I think it's all anything we want it to be, and we are beautiful little gems of this thing, if you want to call it God, that are just hanging out in these bodies, calling ourselves Manu or Steve or Tim, and wearing clothes and pretending that we aren't pooping, eating, sweating, sleeping, farting machines. Oh yeah, my name's Tim Johnson and I work at the Bank of America, and when I go home, really I'm sweating. Fart, shit, poop. It's great. We're so infallible and imperfect, and at the same time we're so freaking beautiful. I don't know, I've had a few rushes like that watching at this convention. Cool, you've got the videos. I love this. I start talking and people, like, as soon as they can get me off of what I'm saying, oh, just shut up, we got some movies tomorrow. Yeah, Tron, by the way, wow, let's see Tron tomorrow, huh? The new Tron's coming out, that's pretty exciting. One more thing I do want to say before we show some Fortress ideas. If there's any scientists out there, and usually there are in this community, let's stop it with the AI. Bad idea. Come on now. Let's not give computers brains. Come on. Have you seen Terminator? Let's just not do that. You know, there is a corporation that controls traffic in Japan called Skynet. Come on! Dumb. All right, Fortress. It thinks for itself. What are we showing? We showing the preview first? Okay, I want to let you guys know that this preview shouldn't even exist. The reason I can show this preview is because it got leaked way back when they were starting to cut the preview. And the CGI, can we hit the lights? Can somebody hit the lights? When we cut, this shouldn't, so the CGI is really, really bad, but this is a $6 million movie and this CGI will look really, really good, so pretend that it does. But this will give you an example of what the movie's about a little bit. But we should really shut off the lights before we start it, or you won't even be able to see it. Cool, I'll help if you want. Is there another switch somewhere? Nobody listens to me, even when I have a microphone. Oh, the carpet is wild over here.
You can go to the Marriott in Hunt Valley.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you'll love that one.
It's a bummer because, you know, I still have flashbacks, and I haven't eaten that stuff in 10 years, and sometimes I still look at a carpet. That's me. My parents were eating so much of it while I was in the womb. That's probably more of what's going on. But all right, here we go. Fortress, trailer, rough cut. Here we go.
Schmidt, sir. Michael Schmidt. I'm assigned to 42-24503 as co-pilot.
She's called the Lucky Lass. If she ever flies again, welcome aboard.
I'm just anxious to fly, sir.
Everybody's anxious for the first flight. By that fifth flight, maybe something the luck doesn't run out when those fighters and flak show up.
All I know is my crew's ready to disappear his ass into the desert.
Never thought I'd have to sit in the pilot seat. Be the den mother to a pack of hooligans and a clueless co-pilot who can't find his ass with both hands on a map.
Sir, I had my on Baker 1 the entire time.
And when we're up in that plane, our lives are in God's hands.
If we waited until we were ready for things to happen before we did anything, we'd never do that.
I'm not leaving you behind!
So that's obviously not when that movie comes out. It's gotten pushed over and over and over again, but only for good reasons, because they're redoing the score and they've paid a few people to bump up the CGI now, so the production costs have gone up and up and up. But I just saw it recently and it looks really, really good. I play Sergeant Charlie O'Hare, who is basically the guy responsible for keeping the crew drunk. What they did in World War II was they would, and I play an enlisted man, There were enlisted men and there were officers. The enlisted men were, you know, basically usually the poor guys from America. They would make stills, and they would take the alcohol out of the jet fuel. They would steal the jet fuel and process the alcohol out of that. Sergeant Charlie O'Hare is also the medic, so I get to do a lot of bullets and blood, and there's a lot of intense skydiving scenes in there. It's going to be an exciting movie, so I hope you guys get to check it out. I also have a bunch of B-roll clips. In Hollywood these days, casting's all done over the internet for the most part. Headshots have kind of gone the way of the dinosaurs. So anytime you do a project, you're begging the producers and directors to give you a couple of clips right after they shoot, because it's all about riding momentum in your acting career and you want to get your latest and freshest stuff up. So about a year and a half ago when I shot this, they gave me some B-roll clips. So these also don't have any score, don't have any color correction, don't have any sound correction, don't have anything in them. But these are some clips from Fortress. Unfortunately, none of the planes and bullets and blood and bombs, but roll the clips. Also, it's not like a pro-war movie. It's a good movie about humanity and just what those guys went through fighting that war.
So how's the batch? It's refreshing. You got your money? Yeah, I got my money. You guys fine today? No, not us. Caparelli's got our bird and hawk. You? Yeah. Going back to Gabini. Gabini? No, this one's on the house. Thanks, Charlie.
Yeah, something like that. They ain't hardly shooting at us no more. A little flak now and again. We drop bombs. Back in time for supper.
Joseph Williamson, you just saw. I don't know if you guys watched Grey's Anatomy, but he was on there for a while.
Over there is officer's country, but you should avoid unless you got some business. Over there is your latrine pits, about 150 yards off. Just follow the smell. Over there's a mess tent. Did you guys get a chance to get breakfast?
No, not yet.
Now, if you missed it today, you'll get a chance to get it tomorrow. It's the same thing every day. And over here, this is you. 2 cots and a chair. Go ahead and stow your shit. Yeah, so this is you. Me, Eddie, and Al are in the tent next to you. Bert here's over on the end.
Wait, why are you 3 crammed in a tent while Bert's all alone on the end?
All right, look. We're one of those Arab countries, right? And they got all these laws, and they don't apply to us. But it does mean that there is nothing to drink here. Nothing. Except with the quartermaster funnels over here, which mostly ends up in the O Club. So, us being mixed with the right kind of know-how, came up with a little solution to that problem.
Oh, yeah?
Check it out.
Retreat?
One of those new guys was Antonio Elias. He was in the new Star Trek in the beginning. I forget the character's name.
Good morning, Monroe. Sir.
Good morning. Well, this is an interesting and quite extensive list of items required, Sergeant, what was it? O'Hara. Right. Yeah, perhaps you can explain to me, Sergeant O'Hara, the purpose of just a quarter of the items on this list.
Well, the rations are for the flight today, and the gasoline is for a tent stove.
A tent stove when it never gets below 95 degrees? Chocolate bars, cigarettes, 3 emergency aid kits, baker's yeast? What?
My crew likes bread.
Let me remind you that the penalty for selling army goods to the local population is quite severe. I suggest you remember that. You'll get your rations, but that'll be it for today, Sergeant.
Well, thank you for your advice and your generosity. There you are, O'Hara. Thank you. Hey, you take it easy.
Oh, I will, Miss Scarlet.
Jack Bauer, bacon and cheese.
Shit, pork and beans again.
Okay, I understand the lemon powder from the K-Rats. What's with the crackers?
What, these? These are for you, buddy. When the Germans start shooting at us, you take these. You huck them out that window. Fools the radar.
Seriously?
There's only 23 more of these.
Come on, Eddie. You gotta think of something.
I know, I'm thinking.
I got an idea.
What is it?
We go, check out a Jeep. We head into Constantine. We go to the Red Cross and we get some beers, some wine, and we see if we can make some trades for something stronger.
I already did that. No dice. And all the really hard cases, they went last night. And this morning, all the badly wounded went off to regimental. They won't be back till tonight. Man, we are SOL.
I bet nobody at the Oak Club would even miss a few bottles when the planes come back.
They are loaded over there. You gonna do it?
I was kind of thinking you should do it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know, you're faster.
But I'll look out.
I'm risking my ass on this one. You keep your eagle eye out for that fuck Monroe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's get some fucking hooch.
And then we cut to outer space. But that's a little sneak peek at the fortress. I'm bumming out because sorry. Oh yeah, I'm Manu Intiraymi. Nice to meet you guys. I'm from Star Trek Voyager. If you haven't seen it, I played Icha. What the heck was I just gonna say? I was saying something at some point, right, John? Of some value at some point? I got a couple things. Okay, good. Oh yeah, I tried to bring some other things to show you guys and I brought the wrong CDs. I'm a terrible person. I have a film also going around the festival circuit called Masterpieces right now, and I was going to bring you the trailer for that, but I accidentally brought the whole movie, and I can't show you the whole movie because I might get sued for that. So, unfortunately, that's all I got to show you for clips. So I don't know how long have I been here? And go ahead.
You mentioned
talk with the lights out. Yeah.
I have 3 questions for you.
Okay.
What is your favorite sound?
That one.
What is your least?
Silence, man. Silence. I love the sound of silence. Just plain old. You know what? You know what? Maybe not. You ever just stood? You've gone for a hike alone in nature. This is corny shit. But stand on the top of a mountain and look off at some mountains in the distance, and you just kind of hear maybe the birds and the wind, and that doesn't quite account for silence, but that is a good sound. Just the sound of the world and its ticking, like when you get to hear it in that kind of a place. 2.
What is your least favorite sound?
Don't. Oh, that's a word. My my least favorite sound? Get your hands on the car! Yeah.
What is your favorite curse word?
We'll leave that one for later because young
Write
lady.
these questions.
Yeah, no, it's a good. Yeah, that's a. Yeah, I would love to answer that, but I won't. Wow, I'm like growing up. Back in the day, I would have just let you have it with a bunch of them. But I'm not going to do that anymore. You see what I mean? You know, 12 years ago, I would have been like. I'll let, good questions though. I love those actors, and he's such a good interviewer too. That guy, what's his name? Lipton, Gene Lipton. Anybody else? Yeah, John. My favorite word is kike. I'm dating a German girl. My favorite word is kike. That's so horrible. What? I was talking to you guys. Remember Emo Phillips, the comedian Emo Phillips? I've been hanging out with that guy lately, and he's a crack up. He's got this new joke where he says he knows this woman that married a German, and he's hanging out with him at a Jewish deli in Hollywood. And the German says to him, "Hey, back in my country, I can't get a decent bagel." And Emo Phillips goes, "Well, whose fault is that?" He has another good too one. What is it? He goes, he's making, now part of his routine is he writes these horrible little Christmas cards, Hallmark cards. Congratulations on turning 60. It's your 60th birthday. Opens up the card. Let's see how you blame that on the Jews. That guy's so funny. I don't know why Emo Phillips never became huge. You know what I mean? Go watch some old Emo Phillips tapes. That guy was so funny and so intelligent. And then the only thing I remember him from really is that Weird Al movie, UHF. You guys ever seen UHF? Where he's doing the buzzsaw and he cuts off his thumb. There's only a few things you have to remember when operating a simple piece of machinery like this. Weird Al, table saw. Remember this scene? Yeah. What you have to remember. Thumb goes everywhere, blood goes everywhere. That was one of my favorite scenes as a kid. Oh, would you look at that? Just call me Mr. Butterfingers. Is my face red? Oh. That was his best moment. You know what I mean? Somebody's got to give Emo a movie. We got to bring Emo back. You know what I want to do if this whole producing and directing thing goes right? I'm going to be the guy that brings back all the greats. Rick Moranis, man. You know what I mean? Where's Rick Moranis? Where's Christopher Lloyd and something? Marty, you gotta go 86 miles an hour. You know what I mean? I need to see more of that. Let's get a Back to the Future 4 going. You know what I mean? Who are some of these other guys? How about a Scooby-Doo movie where they're all 60 and they're all old and Michael Keaton is the good-looking guy with the blonde hair and Old Man Carruthers is Chris Walken and you can get Janine Garofalo to play whatever her name is. And Scooby's dead. And, they're 60 years old. Maybe Scooby's had a couple of puppies and just get all these old, Michael Keaton, Michael Keaton, man, Beetlejuice, Batman, where'd the guy go? You know what I mean? It's just, Hollywood just loves to chew them up and spit them out. I want to bring back, just how about Christopher Walken and, Rick Moranis as the crazy guy in the park, and Christopher Walken and Christopher Lloyd sit next to each other in the park and feed pigeons, and Rick Moranis runs around the park picking up stuff and talking to trees, and you call it Two Old Guys in a Park. Would be great, come on. These pigeons, Bang! Sure. Boom. Well, what are you talking about pigeon for? You know, and then Rick Moranis coming up going, I am the gatekeeper, right? Bam!
Take off, eh?
Yes.
Take off.
Favorite 80s comedy?
Favorite 80s comedy? Man, they made some horrible movies in the 80s. You know, I always think that I've seen that there's classic 80 films that I just love, and then I put them on again, and I'm like, what was I thinking? I just recently put on Splash. It's about the worst movie ever made in the history of bad movies. John Candy is the only reason to watch, because he was so good. He saves the film. But Tom Hanks, phenomenal actor, so bad in that movie. So bad in that movie. Yeah, 10 minutes left. Cool, that's cool. Favorite, I haven't said my favorite though, sorry. Favorite 80s film. I don't know if I have a favorite. Of course I love The Goonies, man. You know, everybody loved The Goonies. I love that Never Ending Story. I don't know if that was an 80s film. What was yours?
Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. No shit. Yeah. I recently did there's a play in Los Angeles called Point Break Live, and they do Point Break, and it was actually directed by Catherine Bigelow, who did the original film, and what they do is they bring a Keanu up from the audience, because they go, oh, sorry, Keanu couldn't make it, so we need someone to fill in for Keanu. And they have all these postcards, and they make you do Keanu and just do the, I don't know, what's one of the lines from that movie? Wow, I just did this recently.
Agent.
I am an FBI agent. We gotta stop screwing around and let's get these guys. Keanu's a good actor too. Keanu's got a bad rap. That guy is amazing. He just shouldn't do Shakespeare. Or yeah, who's so bad in Dracula? But like that, you know, nobody on planet Earth can say the word better than Keanu Reeves. If you can say one word in the English language better than anyone else on the planet, you got something. So, and plus he's so good looking, and I don't have to be gay to say I would. No, I wouldn't. But yeah, I mean, good looking dude, man. Keanu Reeves, man. The Matrix, what a movie. Speaking of movies that blew your brain right out the other side of your ear, I remember walking out of The Matrix touching trash cans and like wondering if I was still here, you know, still wondering that, what a movie that was. What?
Good shroom movie.
Yeah. You know, the last movie I watched on those was Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I haven't come back. I had this horrible idea to go see, what's it called? And I'm so glad I didn't on those things. Avatar. I'd still be sitting in the theater. Right? That movie was like taking me. You know, the colors and wow, what a visual spectacle that was. I didn't care much for the story, but you know, I'm a nitpicker. I'm not James Cameron. Oh yeah. And who knew James Cameron was a hippie? That was kind of cool too. You know, I had no idea that guy was a hippie with the whole Earth coming back and yes.
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
You've been watching it for a while. Have you ever considered doing stand-up?
Yeah, sure. In fact, for about 12 years now, I've considered doing it, but never put any effort or work into it. The problem is that the one time that I went out and like got a little bit of a routine together, what you have to do to be a successful stand-up comedian is hang out with other stand-up comedians, and stand-up comedians suck. They are attention whores. You sit at a table with 12 stand-up comedians, and you can't just sit around and calmly chat. It's a joke contest. And it just gets to be exhausting. So, and I wasn't friends with any of them because it's this big weird competition thing, and nobody's really happy for the other. Comedians are a weird group of people, so I think that's maybe why I dodged doing that. But it's a sure way to success. You know, if you have any who can't get 7 minutes together and get up on stage and rock the house? And then, like a successful stand-up comedian gets 45 minutes together. I mean, that's not a whole lot of work. But thanks, man. Someday I might do that. Yes?
I'm was watching you watch yourself during the clips and stuff.
I was too.
Why did you watch yourself?
I was thinking, wow, it's such a trip to watch yourself on the screen watching yourself.
No, during the while we were watching some of the clips from your film.
Oh, yeah, same thing. Not anything deeper than that. No. What was I thinking? Oh, there was a couple times I was going to say, you know, my experience with drug addiction really paid off in that film because he's such a wreck. But I kept that to myself. 5 minutes, that's rad. Did a little pie chart and everything. That's awesome. If that didn't have the 5 minutes on it, I would be like, oh, pizza's coming. I do love pizza, man. You know what? I didn't write that movie, but pizza's really, who doesn't love pizza? Is there somebody in here that doesn't love pizza? I was going to say, yeah. Don't put your stuff on others, but if you don't love pizza, get out! You know, I'll tell you one other thing I have with God, with the Jesus God. What's the whole deal with speaking in the parables? Really? Come on. You're gonna. If I go to heaven, and you Christians out there, Catholics, etc., that are right, and I go to God, and I want the secrets to the universe, and He gives me some parable, some metaphor, some rhyme, I'm going to give me the answer, Jesus! Parables? Ugh! It was the 12 guys that followed that guy around that screwed up the whole planet. That and Constantine in 300 AD, where they got all the smart people together at the Council of Nicaea and then went out and killed everybody that wasn't Christian and declared religion law. Anytime you declare religion law, that's the messed up part. In America, we tried to stop that somehow. You know what? 5 minutes, I'll get a little bit into politics. I know it's a bad thing to do. But America in general, that was the plan. Jefferson and all the founders, they were like, you know, keep religion out of politics, keep religion out of government, and it just didn't work, you know. And if politicians, I would love it if people would stop voting for who the media told us to vote for, the less of the two evils, and we voted for who we wanted. If we, you know, we get some independent candidates into Washington. I don't think there's one person in Washington I trust right now, except for maybe Dennis Kucinich, but he still has, you know, he's still in the corporations and the banks' pockets. And they, the ruling families, the rich, the oligarchy, they have the media, they have the guns, they have the newspapers, they have the magazines, they have Fox News, ABC, NBC, they control the economy, they control everything. And the only thing we have left is the ability to talk to each other. And that's it. That's all we got for freedom in America. So that bums me out. So let's end on a positive note, get off politics. Do you have a 2-minute pie chart? Okay. Anybody want to order some pizza? 3 minutes. Also, let's get together as like 20 million strong and just 1 year decide, all of us, not to pay our income tax. Let's just do it. You know what the history of income tax is? I'll tell you a little bit about it. 1916 or something, they snuck it through Congress in a closed session with just a few congressmen when everyone was out on Thanksgiving or something, and they passed the, someone help me out here. Anybody know? It's the something something act that is the Federal Reserve Act. Thank you very much for telepathically sending that to me. That made taxes legal. We didn't used to have to pay taxes until I think it was 1913, 1916. By 1928, the Federal Reserve had bankrupted the country. The Wall Street Black Monday happened. Then the bank, the Federal Reserve, which people think is our bank, it's not. It's a privately owned bank full of people that aren't Americans that controls all economy, et cetera, et cetera. It's the federal bank. The Federal Reserve has nothing to do with federal America. They came to us in the 1930s and said, "How are you going to pay this debt that you owe us? We're going to California. You know, black. What was it? Desert.
Dust Bowl?
Dust Bowl, thank you very much. All that shit is happening in America. How are you going to pay us back? They established income tax. So our grandfathers, our fathers, your kids, etc., will be paying this debt that will keep growing and we'll never pay it off. And every year we break our backs 40 hours a week and give them a big chunk of our money. We got to stop doing that, and we got to stop them from doing that to us. I don't know how we start to get that happening, but look into it. That's a rough history of the IRS and the Federal Reserve and income tax. I believe, you know what I think a good idea would be? Just a plain old flat tax. All of us, rich, poor, middle class. Like there's a middle class in America. But just a flat tax, man. Tax is all the same. The tax code being this thick, taxes should just be like 2 lines. We should all agree on how much they are. Come on, anybody with me? All right. So don't pay your taxes this year because they're coming after me for 30 grand, man. 30 grand. I don't have me. You know, the country's broke and they're coming to me for money. You know what I mean? Look at my jeans. They came to me, to my door, black suits. Mr. Razor, Mr. Intiraymi here. Luckily I wasn't. My roommate's work. He doesn't live here anymore. They haven't been back since. If anybody works for the IRS, this never happened, and I'm just telling a story to try to... Anybody out there work for the IRS? Yeah, it's a parable. That's classic. Okay, so I must be out of time. Thank you for listening to my rambling. Thank you, Minneapolis, for coming and see me. Please, if you get a chance to go check out Driving by Braille, Fortress, and Expired later this year, I guarantee that all 3 movies are good films, and I hope you enjoy them. And thank you for being you, man. I love human beings. As much as my negativity goes up here and I ramble and bitch, all of you people are so freaking beautiful. You know what I mean? Seriously, like, I've had that feeling when I see it. A few times this weekend, man, I've just been looking at people in the eyes, talking about old video games or sci-fi novels that we've read, and just sharing moments with them. You're cool as hell. You're cool as hell, Marcus. All you guys. Thank you. Or cool as heaven, if you're Christian. I got no problems with any of it. Hi, I'm Manu Intiraymi. Welcome for coming to Minneapolis. Nice to be here. Thanks for having me. I played Icheb on Star Trek Voyager. I don't know if you guys have seen the show. I've got a few things coming out this year. I've got this movie called That's cool. Watch yourself. Watch yourself.
I guess you don't have a Wii at home.
What? I would love a Wii. I do have a Wii. I'm addicted to the Netflix, man. You get to the Wii and the Netflix. I don't do anything. I watch movies, write movies, try to get into movies, and Netflix. Netflix is so great. So great. You know what's also fantastic about this convention? They've got water everywhere. These little people should drink more water. Yeah. Water, man. Water is awesome. We're all like 87% water. Someone gonna come up here with a hook sooner or later? Oh, I said goodbye. There you are, sir. Thank you very much, everybody. Construction of this stage is cool, man. That says decaf. I should start doing that stuff. All right, I love you guys. Bye-bye. Hi, my name's Manu Intiraymi. I'm from